it's always on any product I work on, and it really comes down to the way I use Google Analytics the most is just looking at search activity, like external search engine optimization stuff. So that's really like, whereas, all right, so Mixpanel, Amplitude, you can track logged out users, but it's not going to give you can get it actually, but it's not built for that. Like finding out like getting deep into like the search traffic that your website's getting. You can do that with Mixpanel, but it's not that great. Same thing with Amplitude. Google Analytics and the companion tool for Google Analytics is they call it Google Search Console now. We used to call it Webmaster Tools. That's like, you basically need that if you want a website, that's going to be found on Google. Like this is just kind of a prerequisite. So it's really it's kind of used differently. It's mostly used, in my experience, like I always use it for external traffic analysis. Which you can do with, like I said, you can do with the other ones, but they're not really built for it. They're more for actual what users are doing once they're inside your application. Whereas Google's great for logged out traffic, people landing on your website, what's going on. You can track events in there too, but like you're probably not going to. Like you would use something else for that. Mm-hmm. So they have slightly different uses. But generally now, I mean, I haven't paid for them in a long time. I wouldn't unless required. The only reason you used to have to for a while there was to really drill into all the different search queries that were sending you traffic. And I think that is still the case if you get to a certain level, but that threshold used to be quite low, and now I think it's really high. So I'm actually not sure about who's paying for them nowadays. I know they have a huge business with it, but I don't know. I haven't worked with a company that paid for them in a while.
Got it. No, that's helpful. Great. And then just wanted to maybe sort of get some number assessments for each of these players, similar to what we did for the selection factors. So
yep.
I guess so let's just go through each one, and I'll just ask you some questions. And again, it's the first question is frankly just basically an NPS. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend a specific solution to a peer?
Yeah.
So I guess let's just do that for all of them first. So for Pendo.
I was going to say the only thing about that, when you say peer, if it's like another product person or engineer, the answer's slightly different. If it's someone a little less technical, I would probably push toward Pendo. But anyway, yeah, we can do that.
No, yeah, that's a good point. Let's just for apples to apples, I can caveat that for Pendo, but let's just say for like an engineer type person.
Yep.
But I'll caveat that for Pendo.
Yeah.
So what would be your 0 to 10 for Pendo?
Oh, for Pendo. Okay, so for an engineer, so like I said, I'm impressed with them actually, but they're still less sort of developer oriented than other ones out there. So if I was talking to like an engineer, I'd put it at like 8, as opposed to like, I'd put it high, but just not like 10.
Yeah, and for non-technical, what would you give it for a non-technical person? Yeah,
for a less technical org, I would do 9 actually. Yeah, so it's both up there.
Okay, cool.
I think as their analytics get even better, and kind of once it gets to kind of the same level as something like Amplitude, then it's going to be very strong. And also a big thing is too recommending Pendo to an engineer, like the different things that Pendo does that are not analytics oriented, like all the user guides. Those are relatively simple features generally for engineering teams. So like it'd be of interest to the engineer if like they just have no time to work in any of that stuff, whereas any consumer product company, you're going to have people who work on that, who like designing that stuff, maybe are hesitant to rely on a third party.
Got it. And just a quick follow-up to that, I'm not sure if I touched this earlier, because Pendo is less engineer heavy in terms of setting up, is the time for setup less usually, or is it still roughly a week?
To start seeing value and making sense of it, I'd still put it at like a week. It takes more than a day. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Great. So let's move on to Mixpanel. So, scale 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend them?
I'd say 9, because they may be innovating a little less slower than they used to, but they're still very good. It's still a very good platform.
Got
yeah.
Good. Amplitude?
Amplitude, I'd say 9 too, but they're almost becoming a 10. They're getting very good. So maybe you could do 9.5 or something. But yeah, it's up there.
Got it.